See, you have great power, but with that great power comes great responsibility. If you don't know learn how to leave that sword sheathed, you're never going to be able to navigate yourself through this world. Now, every time I mention something like this, I know the questions that stir because people walk up to you later and go, well, when's the right time to swing the sword? When do we ever? Because it's almost in our heart to want to use that sword. We can't wait for the moment where we get to pull that sword out and stab somebody. And I'll be honest with you, I can't find the time in Jesus' ministry. I mean, I've read the Gospels my whole life. I can't find the time in Jesus' ministry where he tells you to pull the sword. The closest I can get is Jesus tells the story and he says, if you were at home and you knew the strong man was going to come and rob your house, you would stay home and guard your goods. It sounds to me like there's a moment where Jesus says, okay, you can defend the house. But Jesus never lets you become a predator. And Jesus never lets you fight back just because you've been verbally abused. Just because you've been wronged in a way or two. And the Apostle Paul picked it up and we ignore it. We act like this never even happened in Corinthians. Paul writes the 6th chapter of 1 Corinthians and he opens with, I hear that Christians are suing Christians in secular court. Why would you go before unbelievers and let them judge you? Don't you know that you're going to judge angels? And then this little nugget that never gets preached and no one writes a book on. Why could you not just allow yourselves to be wronged? Paul says. Why could you not, hear it again, we got to hear it again. Why could you not just allow yourselves to be wronged? I'm not going to allow myself to be wronged. There's a legal system out there. I'm going to go defend myself. The Apostle Paul says, if you want to take yourself down 10 rungs to do that, go for it. But you're one of the sons of God. He closes the chapter by saying, don't you know your body's the temple? You literally are the house of the Holy Spirit. You're supposed to be walking around predatory wolves like a sheep in the midst of them, wise as a serpent, as harmless as a dove. Keep the sword sheathed. The meek will inherit that earth. You'll be able to step your foot on with a possession because you know what you have and you know how not to use power in the wrong way. We talked about this a little bit yesterday morning when we talked about Paul closing 2 Corinthians 13, and he says you can use this for edification or destruction. Remember that? You can speak to people and edify them. You can speak to people and destroy them. The option is yours. What does a serpent do? Well, I don't want to go through all of the slithering and all the biting and all the venom. Again, I don't think every simile needs to be used to its max. Jesus obviously wasn't telling you to be snake-like in your dealings and slippery and hard to get a hold of and people don't trust you anymore. No, but be wise. Know how to navigate through a world full of wolves. It's not about being ignorant. It's not about being stupid. It's not about being passive. It's about understanding the power that you have, knowing what you can do with it. But what a snake does so well is avoid snares and traps. How does he do it? Well, he thinks like a snake. So if you're going to be a sheep in the midst of wolves, you're going to have to avoid snares and traps. Because the enemy is going to put up snares and traps for you everywhere. You're going to have a lot of them. The greatest snare that I see in the New Testament is not the enemy getting you to watch something and say something and do something and wear something and go somewhere. That's what the church concentrated on for a long, long time. The only traps we knew were visual. I don't think that's the trap the enemy needs. I think the best trap the enemy has is getting you to let go of your identity. Because if he can get you to forget that you're one of the sons of God, he can rob you blind of everything you own. Amen. Okay? Because if you forget you're one of the sons of God, the only thing left is you must be one of the sons of the earth. If you're one of the sons of the earth, the only way to govern yourself is like a wolf. And if you want to go down that road, the enemy's already won. Because you've already surrendered the power that you know you have. You've already become something you're not. And if that's the case, he can destroy you and he can do it pretty easily. In fact, you're really just dead meat. You're not even really that big of a deal. I mean, if you step outside of being one of the sons of God, what do you have? You're just a cog in the machine, man. You're just like anything else. Easy to destroy. As one of the sons of God, you hold great power and great authority. You know how to hold things back, but you know how to do what you need to do. You know how to navigate yourself through the world. So if you can lose the identity of sonship, that's what the snake goes to work on Jesus in the wilderness. Okay? Please remember that when Jesus goes into the wilderness, he's going into the wilderness to repeat the story of Israel and get right what they got wrong.